January 22nd. Every Indian has been waiting with bated breaths for this day to arrive because on this day, the temple city of Ayodhya will open its gates for the world to see the majestic Ram Mandir. In the year 1989, this very temple was designed by the architect Chandrakant Sompura. It's an honor of great pride to have Mr. Ashish Sompura, who will talk to us about the architecture of the temple. Hello, sir, and welcome to India.com.
Oh,
So, counting you, it's the 16th generation of your family who's been into temple architecture. Your great grandfather, Mr. P.O. Sompura, had designed the Somnath temple. Growing up, what are the stories that you have heard about that architecture, and how did you get into this profession?
yeah, basically from birth, like in our family, it's the same tradition is going on. So everywhere, if you go, while in the morning itself, also people are talking about the temple architecture, the projects which are going on all the time. So all the what do you call perfectly the language of an architecture, temple architecture, which is going on all the time in the family. So we are growing it up like that only. And after that also, it almost like thing, in child's mind that even we wants to do the same thing, like always, son follows the father's footsteps. So normally it was from the beginning, it was like that only that I want to become an architect. But the only difference that I have done is I have done the professional study because my dad couldn't do that because of certain my great grandfather has died earlier, so he has to join my great grandfather, Mr. P.O. Sompura. So he couldn't complete his architecture, so he wants me to complete the professional temple architecture course and done it. So I've done that course and then I joined the same family thing.
Right. Coming to the Ayodhya Mandir, what is the main inspiration, behind this architecture, and how is it different from the one that your father had designed?
Nothing. The what happens is at the time in 1990, no, 1989 and 90, what Dad has designed at the time, the land was only 2.5 acres, which was the land surrounding the mosque, and even the mosque is contained. So he has to kind of dimensioning with his legs and all that. All after that, he had prepared three sketches, and model has been done. The model and the design is approved by the sons in Mahakumbh Mela, and then the work has started. The stone work has started in 1992, in that's the same year. So in from 1992 to 96, almost like 60,000 cubic feet of work on Bansi Panpur stone has been done, where the people are going to Karyashala in Ayodhya. They used to do the prarthana, they used to touch the stones, all that stone that is going to be the part of the Ram Mandir. So they, do the tilak and all that stuff. So from the beginning, like after the verdict, it has been decided that in this much of a year, whatever the media, whatever the political things has given up this particular project a huge hype, so we were thinking of people are going to come in a much, much more amount than it was coming in 89-90. So the footfall basically is going to be increased a lot. So we need to increase the ground floor and other area for the temple. So we were thought of like not making the exactly a different design, what was designed by the dad, because there are two things. Those stones were carved with the money that's, VSP has taken from the people, one rupee at that time.
Okay.
And second thing is, and the second thing is from this much of a year, that the same model was being presented every time in the media, every time whenever the political issues are coming up in the newspaper also. So people have thought of that there's a one image that
Right.
Ram Mandir is going to be like that only. So we don't want to change that. And even we want to use those stones also into the temple. So basically what we have done is that this is the extension of the same design.
Okay.
So yeah, so basically in the older design there was Garbhagraha, Gudumandapa, and the Rang Mandapa only. Where in this new design, what we have done is Garbhagraha, Gudumandapa, Rang Mandapa, Nritya Mandapa, and On the north and south side of the Guru Mandapa, there's a Prasna Mandap and Kirtan Mandap.
Okay.
So there has become a five mandapa structure. And as it's become wider, so we need to increase one more floor into this. There was originally it was ground and first floor. On the ground floor, Ram Lalla, and on the first floor, Ram Darbar. But now we have to increase the one more floor and get the proportion properly according to the Silp Shastra, what the height has been taken off. So that's where we are. It's not basically, you can't say it's a completely different design, but it's an extension of older design.
Of course. Also, does there have like, do you have any pressure that comes because you're building and designing one of the biggest, the most beautiful structures in the country? And how do you make sure that it is rooted in mythology and at the same time it stands the test of time? Because it's going to be there for the future generations to see. Ayodhya is being seen as, the religious capital of the country. So, how do you make sure you strike a balance between the two?
Basically, the Shilp Shastra, which we follow normally, where the temple architecture, you can say the book of temple architecture is called a Shilp Shastra. So, if it is going to be according to Shilp Shastra, each and everything has been, born to do in the same way. Like all the dimension, if you, I can say one thing, like in the world, if there is a building with who is the most scaled and proportionate building in the world is temple, because all the dimension is derived from the Garbhagraha dimension. You can't take any kind of a dimension. You have to follow the certain rules and regulation of the Shilp Shastra. So it's definitely is going to be the most beautiful if you do the Shilp according to the Shilp Shastra, the most beautiful thing. And one more thing we have added is the Shaili. It's a Nagara Shaili temple.
Yes.
So in the northern India, the Nagara Shaili is very famous. Like normally all the temples built in the same Shaili. And this is the most architecturally developed Shaili. Like in the architecturally, you can do a lot of things. So that's why Dad has selected this Shaili,
Right.
Nagara Shaili. And rest is like always for an architect, it's the best thing to do. But as Ram Mandir is approached, like it's Ramji's hands who has done it. We are just a media and we are just portraying the paper and it's going to be there on the field.
Of course. So, what are the unique aspects of the Nagar Shailia that you have incorporated in the structure? I've heard how, and I've read about it, how cement and iron are things that are not used in particular. So, what are the materials that have replaced that, and how are the important aspects of this Shailia incorporated in the structure?
Like Shaili, in any kind of a Shaili that basically steel is called a Shudra Dhatu.
Right.
Shudra means you can't use it, and everyone knows, and even science has predicted that RCC structure, whatever the steel has been used, that life of that structure is hardly 80 to 100 years, not more than that. So over here, this is the old, generation construction technique, which has been tongue and groove kind of a thing with the stone over stored,
Yeah.
and it is built. So, and for the earthquake and other things also, it's going to be you use copper clamps and copper pins, not even those things. So steel is not being used because for the thousands of years, if you want to contain this, retain this temple as a thousands of years, so we have to do that way only because we can't use steel.
Yeah.
Second thing in Nakashali aspect, this is the most different is because why if you see normally the Garbhagriha is a square Garbhagriha. Over here, it is an octagonal Garbhagriha. Octagonal Garbhagriha, like normally right now in the whole world, or you can say in India, you can say only two temples are remaining in the existence. One is Orcha and second one is in Bihar. Other one, like they are not survived. So this is completely a different kind of octagonal Garbhagriha, and the Shikhara is also in the same shape. And
Right.
that's why I tell you, this kind of a freedom is only in Nagara Shaili. You can do such kind of architecture.
Right.
So it has been chosen like that.
So the entire structure is extremely beautiful, but could you tell us more about the Garbhagriha and the Pradakshina Path?
Yeah, if I can say Garbhagriha, particularly, just first you have to talk in the Garbhagriha. So Garbhagriha is an octagonal shape and it's got a makarana white marble carved in a natural way. We want to just get the nature because Ramji has always been in one like 14 years and all. So we just want to create a naturally environment surrounding the Murti. of Ram Lalla. So it is carved in that botanical way, that completely those structure. And then for the Parikrama Path, I can say there was like 58 acres of a land initially. Trust has bought. So after that, it's 70 and it's going to be 108 in the future. So because of the security of the temple, if you sense alone, so we want to build one boundary kind of a wall to secure the temple. So what we have thought of, just a wall doesn't means anything. So we created one corridor kind of a thing where even footfall will be too much. So we can just get them into the corridor, just do the pradakshina and just get into the temple. So it is a longer time and covered area they can get, and people need to have some kind of a shaded area by while walking. So after that also just walking doesn't means anything. So we need to have few kind of an attraction kind of a thing into the corridor. So trust and other Swamiji said like, why don't we have 5 temples as
Right.
Vishnu Panchayatan. It's called a Vishnu Panchayatan. So Ramji is a Vishnu's avatar. So in Vishnu Panchayatan there's Hanumanji, Ganeshji, Surya, Durga, and Shiv. So
Right.
these 5 temples has been created into the corridor, and plus on the northern side of the corridor, there was a place called Sita Rasoi initially when we have started. So we just incorporated that Sita Rasoi into our corridor, and where even the today's Ram Lalla's Bhog is going to be prepared that at that place only.
Okay.
So over there, we have created one Annapurnama because with the kitchen, the Annapurnama is associated. So Annapurnama's temple. So this 6 temples is been created into the corridor. After that, also people have thought of while walking and do the darshan, why don't we have something on the wall? Because it's on the one side, it's completely a solid wall, and on the other side, it's just columns. So you can see the temple. So you are inside the temple like that. So on that wall, also, what we have thought of is why don't we have some Sanatan dharms, all the prasangs, which
Right.
has been done in murals as a mural way, in a 2D way, and just in a brass, and we are just going to stick it on the wall. So people, while also coming to and getting into the corridor, they can get to know the Sanatan Dharma also, do the darshan also, then they'll go to the temple. So that kind of a thought has been created for the corridor.
Okay. When did you begin working on the Ayodhya Ram Mandir? And if you could tell us about the budget that was allocated and by what time will the temple completely be constructed and completed?
Yeah, basically we were started in like after I think verdict was came into I think August or September of 1919 I think and 1920 what the corona dates it's around 19, right?
Yes,
So
20 beginning and
so yeah, so 18 August or something verdict has come in August or September. The trust has become like active in 20 Jan.
okay.
And on the in the February of 19, we have called there in the office of Mr. Nipendra Mishra, who is from selected from the PMO and the trust. We have got the meeting, and we just started from that time. And after that, it was like almost in the March, it was lockdown. So all the designing has been done online meetings with the online meetings because trust and they have created one committee, planning committee. So in front of that, I used to, show them the options, how we can go ahead and all that stuff. So it took almost 6 to 8 months to finalize this option. And in Corona time itself, we have finalized this design.
And also, what according to you as the architect are the highlights of the temple?
Basically, the complete temple, what we have done, we have sort of created the carving and everything. But there are 2, 3 things which really I want to highlight. It is one is the column. On the column, we have created 3 layers of iconography, 3 layers of murti kam, you can say. So on the top, you are going to see the Devangnas.
Right.
Uh, yeah, and the middle part, you are going to see the each and every Dev of God of Sanatan Dharma. And on the bottom layer is going to be all the goddesses, all the devis, which are coming on Sanatan Dharma. So, and also that has been placed in according to the mandapa names. Like if you see, then if in a Nritya Mandap, you'll find dancing Ganesha, you'll find Natraj,
Right.
the Devagna also in a dancing position, like in Guru Mandapa, you'll find all the Shavtars of Vishnu, everything. So this is one of the biggest, one of a thing which really people should know about what are the god and goddesses of Sanatan Dharma.
Yeah.
Second thing is very highlighted is on the lower plinth of that, because there are two plinths in the temple. One is a lower plinth and one is a upper plinth. So in the lower plinth, what we have thought of is almost parikrama of that particular periphery of that podium level, that plinth is almost 400 to 500 feet. So we want to create something in three-dimensional. So it is sort of like, why don't we have, it's a Ram Janma Bhoomi Mandir. So why don't we have a Ram, from Ram Janma to
Wow.
the when they are going, matlab, when again they come to the Ayodhya.
Hmm.
So those all prasangs of that Ramayana will be carved in three-dimensional,
Oh, this.
completely in the depth of 3 feet. So, and that is also not like you will see regular pictures, which is basically we have created that from the description which is given in a Valmiki Ramayana. The artists are sketching it. You know, the description, what is the environment, what is going to be surrounding, what the people, what is going to be in that era particularly. So those were been, translated from text to sketch by the artists. Then from those sketches, we are preparing clay models. And from clay model, we are approving it. It's like perfect. Then it's going to be transported to the fiber model and then to the store. So it's going to be completely new thing, which you people, all the people can see like it's completely new. And the third thing is, as I explained in the pakoda, the brass, the Sanatan Dharmas, that is also been done in a very different way. So this three thing is the most highlight. Like people will go and have a look completely, then they'll appreciate all the things.
I'm sure. Will you be present at the consecration ceremony on the 22nd of January? And how special is that going to be for you and for your family?
Yeah, definitely. It's going to be a big day for us because it's a opening of the temple, and even though it was like not completed the temple, but it was ground floor is complete and almost first floor is 60-70% complete. But people start to come inside that, and we are waiting just the people's reaction. What architect's appreciation is, what his thought and what his design when it's been created, it's created in reality, and people have appreciated that. That's the most biggest thing for an architect. So we are waiting to see the reaction of the people.
I'm sure, and I'm sure it's going to be a beautiful reaction. That's what it looks like. Uh, do you know when can the people visit the temple? After the Pran Pratishtha. Because right now there'll be certain amount of people who've been invited for it, and a lot of people have been advised to stay home at that duration. So when do you think can we visit the temple?
I think if you want to see it properly and do the darshan, I think after March or April you can visit the temple, because before that it will be definitely a huge crowd is going to
Yeah.
be there after 22nd, because it's the event has been really close because a lot of VIPs are coming. So I think from 20th, no outsider is allowed in Ayodhya. That's what I've heard in from UP government. So I think after 23rd, it will be a huge crowd which is going to be there. So if you want to really enjoy and if you want to appreciate the whole architecture, I think after one and a half year, it is going to be complete. The temple also, the corridor also, in between landscape also, everything will be complete. So I think if someone wants to really enjoy the end, get into the all aspect of the temple and architecture, so they should visit after one and a half a year, so they can see the whole temple, whole structure, and they can appreciate that.
Okay. So, of course, your family has been in this business and they've created some beautiful structures. What are your future projects? If you could tell us more about that.
Future projects are, we are doing a lot of projects with the different governments and different private industries also, with the different trusts also. These are going right now, and we are going to do the same way. But hope some other building like this, which is
Yeah.
already in the pipeline for the other Hindus. So if they might come, we'll definitely do that.
Great. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you for being here and taking out this much of time. Thank you.
Thank you.